And now, back to David Spada and Elliott Harris for more Sports and Torts on TalkZone.com.
Let's get right to our next guest, a man who knows something about being perfect. He threw the only perfect game in World Series history. There's only been 21 in the history of the game, but to do it in the World Series, I have to say it's the perfect game. How you doing, Don?
Fine, how are you?
Good. On the phone, we got Don Larsen. I was looking at your bio here. I didn't realize you came up with the St. Louis Browns.
That was my first year.
And then they moved to Baltimore.
The franchise was sold to Baltimore in the winter of '53.
Who was with the Browns when you came up?
Beg pardon?
What players were on the Browns team at that time?
Oh, we had a fair club. There was Virgil Trucks, Bob Elliott, Bobby Young, Dick Kokas, Vic Wirtz, Courtney Moss, Dwayne Platt. We had a good group.
We interviewed Virgil Trucks last year. He was Fire Trucks, and what a great guy he was.
Yeah, Virgil's a good guy.
So what was it like going from the Orioles being traded to the Yankees then?
Well, we knew it was going to be better than what it had been. And I was always excited about that. Being with the Yankees, it was, quite a change, coming from a sort of a bad club. We're all learning and stuff to, a contender with all the great players they had.
There was a little difference in talent level going from the Orioles to the Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
You had, Mano and Yogi?
Oh, yeah. I mean, all those guys. Well, I played against them for 2 years. Right. And then, to join them, it was wonderful.
So if you can't beat them, you join them.
Right.
What was having Casey Stengel as a manager like?
Well, I was my third manager, I didn't know what to expect. I just wanted to do well, for the club period. So, I could, keep my job. But he was a character. I found that out a lot later, I liked him. I think he liked me a little bit later on.
After the perfect game, he liked you a lot more, probably.
Oh, I hope so.
Was the Yankee teams back then pretty tight where you'd go out and party after the games?
Oh, we did our share. You're not going to be in New York and stay in the room all day. And I was single. I had no reason not to go out and have a little fun as long as you didn't overdo it.
So if you were to go out into town, who would you hang out with? What former players?
Well, I got my own friends, and I used to go out with Hank Bauer a little bit, and he had some good friends, and he knew everybody in New York, and Hank sort of helped the new people of the block, steer them correctly.
Now, did you have favorite places to go, or did it change from night to night?
Oh, we tried to enjoy ourselves and do something interesting. We had fun, and good, clean fun.
I read somewhere that you didn't know you were going to be pitching in that World Series game till right before.
I didn't know until I got to the ballpark.
Why was that?
I don't know. Nobody made it their mind or what they probably did, but I never got told. Okay. And Frank Frasetti has his job. He put the ball in your shoe in the locker, so that meant you were going to start if they were in doubt. So that's what happened.
So did that help? I mean, not being focused on it for 12 hours or 20?
I didn't mind one way or another, but you sure would like to know so you can prepare a little bit,
When did you realize that you were throwing a perfect game during that game?
I never knew it was a perfect game until after the game was over and somebody told me in the clubhouse.
Who was that?
I knew I had the no-hitter going. Every pitcher knows that, or you expect it. You don't worry about that crap. You expect they're going to get a hit off you anyway. So I didn't know it was a perfect game until the game was over and somebody told me in the clubhouse.
Do you remember who told you in the clubhouse?
No, I don't.
Okay. Now, in my mind's eye, I keep not on a continuous basis, but when I think of that perfect game, I think of Dale Mitchell and the check swing for the last out, and I think of Yogi rushing out to the mound and jumping up to your arms. Does that scene replay in your mind from time to time?
Oh, well, nobody has to tell me what happened. I think about it all the time. Hell, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. Why should I, not think about it?
Was it that big of an event when it happened, or has it basically become bigger over time?
Well, it's been important to me over my lifetime because I've made quite a few dollars on it, with commercials and do some good signings. And I still do it once in a while, so it was a good thing for me.
What was your biggest commercial you ever did?
Oh, God, I don't know. Probably the Bob Hope Show. That was enjoyable, being with him.
Okay. What was that like?
Oh, it was great. I didn't know any of those people, movie stars, and I was sort of humble there. I didn't know what was going on, but I enjoyed it very much.
How was Bob Hope to you?
Great. Good man. Great guy.
With Yogi jumping in your arms, did you think to yourself, oh, my God, this guy could crush me?
No, I thought something was going to happen, but I didn't expect that. But, he was pretty happy, and so was I. But it was just one of those things he did. It worked out good.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing he was only about 5'7" or 5'8" and didn't weigh a lot.
Well, he was bigger a lot then. With all that equipment on.
And that pasta he ate.
It wasn't light.
Was there an out in that game that stood out besides the last out, or something you thought, you know what, that might be a hit when they made contact?
A couple of them. Robinson led off the second inning, a line drive to Andy Carey at third. He knocked it down at Road to McDougal, and he threw him out of first. Boom, boom. And then Mantle caught Hodges' ball deep left center. That would have been a home run in any park today.
Was it extra special being that you had the Dodgers and Yankees were like fierce rivals with the Brooklyn Dodgers?
Beg your pardon?
Was it more special doing against the Brooklyn Dodgers because you guys were such fierce rivals?
I didn't care who we played as long as we were in it. It was a rival, sure. New York got spoiled. They had, 3 clubs there. Every year they had a playoff game or a series. Hell, the fans got spoiled there. But it was fun.
And then, if not for you, Mantle and Maris wouldn't have been on the same team because you were part of the big trade that Kansas City made, and you ended up going to Kansas City, and Roger Maris ends up in pinstripes.
Yeah.
What was the change like going to the Athletics?
Well, I was a little disappointed, but, you expected a lot sometimes, and you get traded a lot in those days. I was just hoping we'd do good over there, but we didn't have all that great of a club. But we're still in the big leagues and try to play it hard, and we did okay.
And then you finished your career with the Cubs in '67. I mean, the Cubs were a team on the rise back then because you had Williams and Banks and Sano and Fergie coming up.
Well, we had a good ball club, and DeRocher was the manager. I didn't do very good. I was very disappointed in my performance, but that was the last shot I had. But I gave my best. It didn't work out, but I enjoyed it very much.
Okay. You're also, in addition to being a quality pitcher, you had a 242 average, 14 home runs.
So.
That's not too shabby.
Yeah, it'd be worth a couple, $3 million today.
We've asked a lot of former players this question, and most of them say Mays. The former Yankee players usually say Mantle. Who is the best player of all time, Mantle, Mays, or somebody else? Because you played with both Mantle and Mays.
Oh, God, that's pretty tough, You'd like to have them all in your club. Mays probably would have been the all-around guy. He never got hurt. He always stayed in good shape, but Mantle hurt his leg, early. And Mickey could run like a deer. But I think he'd probably have to give it to Mays in total, but I'd take any of them on my club.
Was there one batter that gave you a lot of trouble?
A lot of them gave me trouble. I didn't want to walk anybody. I didn't care if they hit a home run, but it was a guy that just kept ticking the ball, and driving you nuts.
I see that you never watched a full game after you retired until you were at Yankee Stadium when David Cone threw that perfect game on Yogi Berra Day. Is that true?
Yeah. We were invited back to it, so we were there kind of Yogi Day.
So,
And I threw out the pitch to Yogi, shook hands with Cone, and he did a great performance. That's the only time I saw the whole game.
So if you go meet Yogi now, will Yogi still jump in your arms?
Hey, he can't jump that high anymore, and I can't hold him anyway.
Too much pasta. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Well, you're welcome. Good luck to you guys.
Many
Thank
more
you.
years of health.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Goodbye. That was Don Larsen, the only pitcher to throw a perfect game in a World Series.
I remember watching it on television way back when.
When we come back, we're going to have a true character, former NBA coach Frank Layden. Stay tuned.